Good morning. Welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, and Security in Mandalay Bay, GH with T-Fan. Before we begin, a few notes. Stop by the business hall located in Bayside, AB. The Black Hat Arsenal is on the Palm Foyer on level 3, and of course the Arsenal reception at 1700 hours. If you haven't picked up your merchandise, today is your last chance to visit the Black Hat Swag and Bookstore. Visit the Kali Linux Lab in Mandalay Bay A. Thanks for putting your phone on vibrate. It makes it easier for the rest of us to ignore the ringing while you wait for the voicemail to pick it up. And finally, we do have microphones in the aisles if you have questions after that talk. With that, we welcome our speaker.
So, hello everyone. Ooh, thank you. So I am T-Fan, and I'm going to talk to you today about a role-playing game that I've designed to teach people which don't know anything about security of computer science, to teach them about security. A little bit of forward, so if it's working, yeah. So I'm recently joined Airbus Group Innovation, but prior to that I was working at Orange for several years, and I was a project team, a security team leader. So basically, my job was to convince other project leaders to do security and to follow my recommendation. And at first, I've designed this role-playing game just for me, to make my job easier, because I was sick of hearing there is no sensitive data or password is too complicated. So I designed it to train my coworker. So I made a design, I'm going to show you how. I've tested on my family, coworkers, friends, etc. Redesigned it after all. And it was more than 1 year ago now. And since then, I've actually successfully used it on more than 70 people, roughly. Everyone from call center, customer support, project manager, top manager, everyone, and with great results. So hopefully at the end of the presentation, you'll want to know more and to try to do such a training. And if so, there is a white paper available when you can learn how to do such a training. So like I said, I'm talking about people in my work that don't know anything about security. It's what I call a neophyte audience, and this is what they actually know about security. So the attacker is actually very nice and is very, very afraid of losing his warranty. That's known, okay? Second, the local network is a security measure, and there is no such thing as in-depth defense. And last but not the least, if something has never happened, it will never happen. We all know that. So I choose to laugh about it, and I actually collect this kind of quotes. You have to know that those quotes are all real, so that's something I've actually heard in meetings or read in emails. So I collect them, but at the end of the day, those people are supposed to either follow or apply, decide to apply, deploy my security recommendation. And I think we all know here that when people don't understand what they are doing or why they are doing things, they actually don't do it or do it very badly. So, universal answer, we need to train them. I think I'm not the only one to think about it. So I've looked a little about all the trainings that exist, and most of them are technical trainings. That mean we talk to them about what is a password, how do you attack one, how do you construct a strong password, what is a computer, a virus, etc., etc. And this is what the majority of people actually understand about technical aspects. Again, not much. And that's not even the hardest part. The hardest part is that most of them don't care. They don't want to understand technical aspect. I mean, they don't need it to live, and they're scared by it, they're bored by them, they're convinced they're not enough smart to understand. So I think that I wanted to find another way to teach them. So maybe we can train them without talking about technical aspects. Just a quick stop, what I call non-technical aspects are everything from Harry Potter is handling my email to maybe there is a wire of some kind between my computer and the recipient of my email. Everything beyond that is technical. So it seems scary when you write things like that, but when you think about it and you look back at the quote I've shown you at the beginning, they are not a problem of misunderstanding technical problem, okay? I mean, thinking that the attacker is actually afraid of losing his warranty is nothing to do with how a computer works. So I begin to make a list of things that I needed them to understand or to learn. Okay, I want them to learn that you stop trusting anyone by default in InfoSec, okay? You have to trust someone for a specific action, and you have to decide who to trust. There is such thing as in-depth defense or in-depth security, and you have actually to use it. The attacker is bad, really bad. He has his own motivation, and there is a big range of attackers between the nice user and the big bad hacker working for the NSA, okay? And there is a lot of money involved. I don't know that, so I wanted them to know that. And last, I wanted them to understand that I was actually here to help them, that you are actually here to help them, and that if you put a password on a product somewhere, it's because you don't have another solution, not because we don't care. So actually, they know that. But in physical security, I mean, they close the door in the morning. They don't just say to you, okay, I'm going to leave my door open because the attacker don't know it's open, you know? You've heard that on password. They have insurance, they even do in-depth security. Basically, they understood constraint and they bear them if they feel that it protects them. So this is my idea. I'm going to use the knowledge in physical security to teach them about computer security, about the core idea. So I wanted it to be different from other training because I was like, hey, do you want to talk about security? So I wanted it to be a little different. I want it to be fun because I'm convinced that people are learning better when they're having fun. So obviously no heavy technical work, learn the basics. And last, I wanted them to be able to think by themselves. So not just dumbly apply security recommendation, but be able in front of a new situation to say, okay, maybe this is fishy. So role-playing games seems a good idea for me, okay? So it allows me to show them that they actually know something, it's gonna be fun, it's a kind of hands-on training, and it's not that used often, so good idea. What do you need? So to play the game, you're gonna need just one meeting room. It's an old-fashioned role-playing game, okay? It's not a video game. So just one meeting room, a paperboard or something like every trainee can look at. 4 to 8 players. We're gonna be divided in 2 teams, the attackers and defenders. You're gonna need a lot of energy because people are having fun, so they're difficult to manage. It's 90 to 120 minutes to do the full training. And you don't need dice, not a dragon. I'm very sorry about that. You're gonna be the game master, and you're gonna conduct the game in physical security during 30 to 45 minutes. And after the game, you're gonna do a debriefing of the game and saying to people, okay, this apply in computer security either, and this is how you can apply it. So now, I'm gonna show you the game a little so you can know the rules. So you imagine a big office building, like a skyscraper or something, in a very dense urban area. There is an underground parking lot, there is an helicopter pad on the roof, because helicopters, and somewhere in the building is a highly valuable object. This object is not little enough to fit in a pocket, but it fits in the backpack. At the beginning of the game, no security at all in the building, and like I said, there are going to be 2 teams. Attackers will try to steal the object, and defenders will try to prevent the theft, of course. How does it look like? Well, attacker is going to propose an attack, like I'm going in, I'm stealing the object, I'm going out, and my defenders will propose a mitigation, like I'm putting in the door and I'm locking it. There are some little rules that you have to know. So attack team, like I said, steal the object without being caught, okay? So if there is CCTV of their face, fingerprint, everything like that, the objective is not done. And if the police come in full force and they have not an acceptable exit plan, again, they're lost. So they have unlimited budget because it's more fun, so they can have missile, everyone they want. They have a limited number of human attackers in the game, so no more than 10, they can't be an army, and they have to respect the laws of physics. So sorry, there is no Deadpool in the team, you have to respect the law of physics. If you want to go through a wall, you have to explode it, I don't know, something like that. Defending, obviously the counterpart in objective. They have also unlimited budget, unlimited staff, so they can have an army. Again, laws of physics, and they have 2 more rules which are very difficult to follow for defenders. First, the law of the country must be respected. So that means in France, because I'm French, I don't know if you heard it, in France, that means your guard can't kill anybody. Okay, they can't have gun, you can risk to maim one on your employee, you can't do full cavity search, yes, I had that, on your employee, and in case of fire, every door must open because people must be able to evacuate. So this is the first. The second one, people must be able to work in the building and to work with the object. So you can't just seal out all exit, and you can't put the object into casting into concrete, or I don't know. They have to work and be able to come and go. Now I'm going to show you real minutes of the session. So it's a session with 7 people. We're product manager in marketing. I'm going to show you the minutes synthesized because there is a lot of back and forth. And then I'm going to show you how to debrief these minutes to actually train them to security. So here we go. No security at all. So get in, steal the object, get out. Defender's first mitigation. There is guard at the front door, there is a bad reader at the entrance of the room, a safe in the room, and when I ask them who has actually access to the room or the safe key, they tell me that it was only 3 managers of the specific team needed access to the object. Please note, the object is not in the safe. Everybody has forgotten that in the game, but it's not in. Okay, attackers. Take care, it's gonna be fast. They kidnap one of the managers. They steal its key, the badge, they go in the building via the parking lot because there is no guard, and they steal the safe keys, which they don't need, but like I said, they've forgotten that. Okay, no, new mitigation. The safe key never leaves the building, so just kidnapping a manager is not enough. And there is CCTV everywhere except in the bathroom because that's not allowed. When asked who is actually watching the CCTV feed, they said it was an external company watching it in real time 24/7. Okay, attackers. They're gonna hack the CCTV. They put a video loop of the empty hallway and empty room, and they enter with the manager badge, they steal the useless safe key, and they steal the object. Okay, now the badge is associated with facial recognition, so just stealing the badge is not enough. Okay, no issue. We're gonna hack the facial recognition database. I mean, we're just putting our face on it, and that's okay. Okay, now my defenders were wanting to detect video loop. So this was this weird discussion on how do you actually detect a video loop of an empty hallway. And they came up with this solution, which is putting analog clock in front of all the camera. And there was also a lot of discussion on which time to put any clock. So defenders are kind of screwed. Okay, no problem. They're going to kill a manager and steal its actual face. Hey, you're going to pass the CCTV like that. Okay, so now there is iris scan. So, okay, they change the strategy. Now they put fire in the building, so all the door open, and they land as fake fireman in helicopter. I don't know why helicopter, because it's fun, something like that. So they go in, they steal the object, they go out. Okay, now they remember they actually have a safe and the object is not in it, so they put the safe back, the object back in the safe in case of evacuation. No problem, they're firemen, they have blowtorch. It's known. So they open the safe with the blowtorch, stealing the object, etc. Well, the CCTV guard is not that dumb, and a fireman opening a safe with a blowtorch in the middle of fire is not that, so he's actually calling the police. Okay, change of strategy again, now there is a blackout, so no more electricity at all in the building, but my defenders were willing to have a backup generators. So this is just short meaning. After all that, we have drone evacuation of the object, kidnapping of God's family, I think they were killed too, GPS tracker, Faraday cages, poison, etc., etc. Honestly, everybody dies. This is actually a same scenario, but the bigger one were too long to fit in this presentation. If you think about James Bond, Mission Impossible, etc., you have a pretty good idea of what actually happened in the game. So I've shown you the minutes, but this is not InfoSec, okay? So now I'm gonna show you how to use this game to teach them about computer security. You go back to the minutes of the game that you actually wrote in the paper bond in the room, and you're gonna check step by step and show them that it's actually applying to computer security. So get in, steal, get out. Obviously, if there is no security on your server, that's the same. First countermeasure. Okay, so everything that's guards and lock, etc., are just basic security, operational, and technical issue. Don't go further. That's enough. Badge reader, we have access control. Okay, and there is also the principle of least access privilege that they put in by themselves, because when you ask them who has access, they only say, okay, only 3 people, so you can talk to them about the least privilege, about the fact that you don't lend your password to everybody, etc., etc. There is also defensive depth, because there is a lot of peeling up security measure, and you can also talk to them about security measures that are badly deployed because there is a safe that is useless, you know. I'm going very quick to the debriefing because you actually know about security. Your role as a trainer is to go further to explain to them. Okay, kidnap of the manager is basically social engineering. First, because it's a human factor. Next, because to know which manager to actually kidnap, you have to get information, and they have it via social engineering. And there is password theft, pass of least resistance, because they go via the parking lot where there is no guard, so you can show them that. Safe key never leaves the building is basically hardware security. You're forcing your attacker to be here to actually attack your product. There is CCTV, so it's supervision and SOC. Hack the CCTV, it's actually log tampering. So it's kind of fun to talk to them about that. And there is also credential theft. This is just biometrics. And you can talk to them about multi-factor authentication, of course. Hack the facial database, it's access control system attack. So you're attacking and you're putting a new user in the system. Video loop, that's actually Watchdogs and Keep Alive. I was so happy. Remember, those are marketing people. Kill the manager, it's an account or his computer with rebound attack. Iris scan is biometrics again. Fire, it's kind of like the debug access. You know this pretty SSH with a very strong password that is admin1234 and that you keep in case of emergency on your product. That's kind of the same for me. You can also talk to them about fail-safe and fail-secure. Okay, so now there is hardware security again. The blowtorch, it's hardware security, but also you can talk to them about exploit because you don't need to know how to build a blowtorch to actually use it. And if you buy a blowtorch, then there is someone who is willing to sell it. So you can talk about black market and exploit, etc. CCTV guard calls the police, it's SOC and CERT doing their job. Blackout is a denial of services on your infrastructure. And backup, again, the same, backup infrastructure. You can discuss, after all that, of broader subject of discussion, like the cost of the security or the attack versus the object value. I mean, if you spend 3 billion trying to attack the object, it means that it must worth more. You can talk about constraints on employee. So for the sessions that I've shown you at the end of the game, the guard were actually forbidden to drink anything that was not previously approved by the company, you imagine. So you can talk about them. Social engineering, they all do it. It's fun to watch. And you can talk a lot about black market, so of the data you can steal, of exploits, of video feeds, etc., etc. Of course, physical security is not like InfoSec. There is difference, and it's important that the trainee know that. First, time and space, and I'm not talking about Doctor Who here. When you test a key for a lock, it takes time, and it's not the case when you're just testing a password. And geography nearly doesn't matter in InfoSec. And the second one is the copy, is the fact that stealing in InfoSec is actually copying, and you can't take apart the copy and the original file, so you don't even know that you've been stolen, and it's very important. Some pro tips if you want to play the game. First, don't go up to 8 players. People are having fun, they're trying to kill anybody. There is a lot of back and forth between the team and inside the team, so beyond 8 players, it's just too difficult to handle, okay? You don't want shy attackers. I had once, and they were like, okay, the door is closed, I don't know what to do anymore. So you don't want that, so ask who wants to attack. The people who's gonna come forward have the least chance to be shy. Don't hesitate to switch team, it's not the case. Everybody who has been in a role-playing game master, know that you are the law. Don't let people trying to negotiate with you. If you say something, it's forbidden and end of the discussion, okay? Don't be too stressed out about the rules. They're just here to prevent full play, so if you're wrong, that's not a big deal. And have fun, of course. Some results, okay. On the short term, so what I call short term is just after the training or the day after. Basically, training have grasped the concept that I wanted them to learn, that the attacker is bad, that security team are actually people and not robots, and then we can be fun, and we're here to help them. And I had a lot of people saying that it was very unfair that we had to follow the laws of the country because we cannot win like that. And trainers are fun too. Just a little thing that you need to know if you want to train to do the training, it doesn't work on security people. so on you. I think it's because we already trained to forecast the attacker behavior, so we go too far, too fast, that's just awful, and you're like trolls. So honestly, it's awful, don't try it. Long-term results. So I'm doing this for 1 year now, and I've contact with a trainee after. It's actually working. So this quote is a little bit too much, because they actually don't go in the bathroom anywhere with their smartphone. But if you think about it, that means they understood that a smartphone can be hacked, that someone in the internet is willing to do it, and that there is also weirdos that are willing to pay to have the recording of someone going to the bathroom. So they actually have a lot of things, okay? We had also a lot of contact afterwards. So to ask for the same training for coworkers, or coworker asking for the same training, to ask for technical training in security. Honestly, that's big. So they come here and say, okay, now I want to know about virus. To ask for help, like I have this project and I don't know how to secure it, and also to report possible incidents. And this is big. I was at Orange, so it's an ISP, and when the people from the call center who are talking to your client all day are able to detect possible incidents and to call you about it, honestly, that's huge. And also, trainers are fun, so we want to get the training again. So I want to thank you. I'm going to thank you also my guinea pigs and all my trainees at Orange. If you want to know more, there is this white paper. Normally with it, you'll be able to conduct such a training in totality. Please try it. You can tell me about it, because honestly, each time I do it, there is something new that people come up with. So I really want to know what yours people are going to come up with. And thank you very much.